continuing to advance and just show everyone what we're about.
Raya's from the area. How special is it to get to play with her, basically in her hometown?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We're all excited to be here and happy for her that she gets to come home. So, yeah.
You got to be in some other rivalries when you're in the Big 12.
Yeah.
What has being in the Duke-Carolina rivalry been like for you the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Duke-Carolina rivalry is like the best basketball rivalry in all of college basketball. So just being a part of that has been so much fun, and just the energy around the game, the competitiveness that both teams give you, like it's a fight every game, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Did you feel that the first time you played them last year? Did it feel like something a little different than any other game you played in some ways?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you can feel the rivalry in every single game that we played them. Yeah.
Now, you grew up in Wisconsin, so did you have any sense of it before you came here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like anyone that watches college basketball is aware of the Duke-Carolina rivalry and just knows what it means, and they love one program and hate the other.
Right, exactly. How do you feel like defensively you've been able to adjust? Obviously, you were Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year when you were there. You came here and brought that defense, and especially this year when you guys have been such a good defensive team, how have you been able to help raise that level of defense here?
Yeah, I mean, the team is always going to get my best effort on the defensive side of the ball, and just trying to do my best to take the other team's best guard out of what they want to do. So taking them out of actions, making their shots more difficult. It's definitely been something that I've tried to do, and I feel like this year especially, we've really had a full team buy-in that, no, we're not playing one-on-one defense, it's 5-on-5. So even teams that want to play iso ball all night, we're like, no, that's not how we play. Like, you're not going to be playing on an island. We're playing 5-on-5, and we have each other's backs on the defensive side. So I feel like, especially this season, that we've really had that full buy-in, and that's why we've won so many games.
What did you learn from the first two Duke games as far as limiting turnovers with the pressure that they're going to bring?
Yeah.
And did Monday night kind of help in that regard?
I definitely think that coming off a West Virginia game into playing Duke is very helpful. West Virginia, the pressure is similar compared to both teams. Obviously, they play differently, but the ball pressure, how difficult they make reversals, and just their pressure on defense is very similar between the two teams. So I feel like we grew throughout the game against West Virginia, and that's something that we're going to just continue to grow and carry on into our next game.
How do you feel about playing Duke on a big stage like this?
Yeah.
It seems weird.
Yeah, we're super excited. I mean, anytime we get to play Duke is a lot of fun, and it's always a fight. You're going to get the best effort from both teams, so we're excited, and it's definitely a team that we know well, so it'll be fun.
Lexi, one of the things that was interesting that Coach said.
What do you think you guys learned from the first two Duke meetings as far as limiting turnovers? Obviously, that was a big deal in both games. And did Monday night's game kind of help you in that regard?
Yeah. Their aggressiveness on defense is really what they're known for. They're very handsy. They make it hard for us to get the ball in. And, limiting those turnovers is a key component in the game tomorrow. Our game against West Virginia, I feel like, has really prepared us for that moment. They were very handsy, and, their press was very, very aggressive. And I think that kind of complements the way Duke plays, and I think we watched film on that in the games in the past, and I feel like we've learned from that, and we definitely can grow tomorrow in that aspect of turning the ball over.
And then the fact that you stayed with them for much of the game without Bliss and without Renaya at Duke, what does that tell you that you can do tomorrow?
Oh yeah, it just shows that everybody is prepared to fill in. Whenever we need a sub, people are ready to play at the level that we need them to play. And everybody's going to be needed tomorrow, and that's just exciting that we have Renaya and Alyssa back, because they're definitely going to help in all those aspects.
Also, you grew up in the Triangle. You know the Carolina-Duke rivalry very well. How weird is it to have those two rivals play here on a big stage like this? Does that seem odd?
Not odd. It just shows the level of basketball in the Triangle. I feel like having three teams in the Sweet 16 is just very exciting for the area. And just to have that rivalry in this type of tournament, I don't know. I think it's exciting. I don't think it's odd. It was bound to happen either now or later on in the tournament. So, it's just very exciting to be a part of that game again for the third time this season. in this position.
Has there been any talk about the 2022 men's game?
Not as a group, but I've thought about it. I've little clips on TikTok show up about that game all the time, and it's just exciting. And the way that we're hoping the way that game turns out for us. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
How's the experience of what have you learned from the first two games against Duke? Obviously, it's not easy navigating inside against Fournier and some of those other players.
Yeah, I think they're really good defensively. So being able to be aggressive, they like to front me in the post. So getting those easy lobs, easy buckets is going to be really important for us. I'm excited for this matchup. I don't really try to do anything like different, special. Just playing my role, playing it well, staying aggressive, keep posting up like I do every other game. Didn't go our way last time, so obviously going to have a different year going into this next one. But I'm excited for tomorrow. Yeah.
Obviously, teams have been physical against you all season.
Yeah.
But that was particularly the case in those two Duke games. How do you deal with that?
Honestly, I don't have a choice but to play through it. I don't have a choice. Sometimes I feel like I could get some calls, but it doesn't usually go my way. But I've learned to play through it, honestly. Playing through that physicality is something I've gotten used to. So being used to it at this point, just keep playing. Try to stay like composed, I would say, because sometimes it does get frustrating when I feel like I deserve like a foul call maybe, but staying composed throughout all of that, not trying to be like any different than I have been. Continuing to call for the ball. I think I feel like I get tired sometimes, but I gotta continue to just fight, call for the ball because it does draw defenders in, opens up shooters, opens up the floor for everyone else. So,
what's your view of the UNC Duke rivalry on a big stage like this?
The rivalry is always big, always been big. It's a historic thing. So having to play them in the Sweet 16 is going to be fun. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I think going into tomorrow, there's a lot of expectations on both sides, but I think being at a neutral site is going to be fun. There's going to be supporters on both sides. I think we might have more because Lanie is bringing a lot of people from her hometown. So it'll be really fun. Not trying to do anything special, but just being ourselves.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you think you guys learned in the first two games against Duke as far as trying to limit turnovers? And did Monday's game kind of help you in that regard?
Yeah, I would say that because we've played them twice, we're very familiar with them. We're familiar with their personnel and their actions and their style of play. So I think that coming into it for a third time, we'll be a lot more comfortable with the pressure that they're going to bring and just in general how they play. And just learning from maybe stretches in the second game where we can be better. So, yeah.
Does it come down to making good decisions with the ball in the backcourt?
Sure, I would say that's a part of it. I think, and like I said, just being more comfortable and playing a little less like stress-free. Rivalry games, people are always a little bit nervous, but we're playing in a neutral site for the Sweet 16. Like it doesn't get much better than that. So being smarter with the ball and also having Renaya back as our primary ball handler is going to be very helpful along with Alyssa. So it's going to be great.
So like the second game, you didn't have Renaya, you didn't have Liz, and you still stayed with them for much of the game. What does that tell you that you can do tomorrow?
I think that gives us a lot of confidence. I know that there's a lot to grow and a lot to learn in from that second game, but I think we got deeper as a team and we learned a lot. I learned a lot from that game. I've watched it back a couple times. So, it forced people to step out of their comfort. The second game forced people to step out of their comfort zone and grow as players. And I think that now coming as a third time, having Renaya and Alyssa, it's going to be obviously an added bonus. So I'm excited.
You said you learned a lot. What was the biggest thing you learned?
I would say just the amount of effort it took to put a 40-minute game together, as somebody that was one of the primary ball handlers and people that were looking to score. So I would say that in general.
And you should be a senior in high school, but you're playing in the Sweet 16. What are the emotions just when that ruminates through your head?
Just honored and humbled, I would say. I was watching March Madness last year and I had no clue that in 365 days I was going to be a part of it. And now forcing myself to take a step back and look at it from a whole and realize what I'm doing and how fortunate I am to be doing it with this particular team. It means everything to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think you guys learned from the first two Duke games as far as trying to limit turnovers? Obviously, you were an integral part of the second game.
I think at the end of the day, it's like you said, we need to limit our turnovers to protect the ball. But at the same time, I think it's the same thing. Defense and rebounding is just what keeps coming up for us.
This is your first Sweet 16?
Yes.
What are your emotions going into that?
I'm excited. I think it's fun. It's kind of nice, but it's kind of nice to play a team that we already know so familiarly. But at the same time, it's like gives us even more energy to play them and compete at a high level and continue to go to the Elite Eight.
How much were you cheering for your old school there?
Oh,
they
yes.
made a nice little run.
I was watching their games. I was excited for them. They were doing well. I think it was a big win for them over Georgia Tech in the first round. I think at halftime, they liked the chances there against UCLA, but UCLA pulled away. I think it was fun to see them be able to experience that in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you.